Hello and welcome back. Let's do one more example of calculating some loan payments. So here we're going to borrow $100,000 at 7% interest rate, 7% APR, and it's going to be paid back monthly over 35 years. So unlike the previous question, we have a lower interest rate, but we're going to be paying it back over a longer period of time. We're also borrowing more money. So the first question is going to be what are our monthly payments? So how much are we going to have to pay back? How much will we actually pay for our $100,000 loan? Because our loan earns interest over time, we're actually going to pay back more than $100,000. And then the final question: what percent of what we pay is for the principal, versus what percent of what we pay is actually going to be just for the interest that we've accrued over having to pay it back over 35 years. So let's write down our formula here. So for part one, our payments going to be our principal times the APR over N divided by 1 minus 1 plus the APR over N, all of this raised to the minus N times Y. And we can start writing down a few things that we know. We know our initial principal, our initial loan that we're taking out was for $100,000. Our APR, our annual interest rate, is going to be 7%, which is the same thing as 0.07 when we write it as a decimal, as a number rather than as a percent. And Y, the number of years that we're going to be paying this back. We're paying this back over 35 years. And finally, N is how many times a year we're going to make payments, which, if they're monthly payments, we'll be making 12 payments a year. So we just have to plug all these numbers into our equation, and we're good to go. Luckily, I have my previous question in here, so I can just come in and change some of these numbers to figure out exactly what our answer is going to be. So instead of a $25,000 loan, we have a $100,000 loan. And rather than a 12% interest rate, we have a 7% interest rate, so it's going to be 0.07. 12 stays the same. We're still making payments monthly, but our interest rate has changed to 7 down here. Again, we're making payments 12 times a year, but now we are paying this back over 35 years. So to pay back $100,000 loan, we are going to need to pay $638 and 86 cents if we round to the nearest cent. So 638.86. So this is going to be our monthly payment. This isn't how much we're going to have to pay back every month for the next 35 years when we take out this loan. So if we pay back that much each month, how much will we actually pay after 35 years? Well, again, we're going to be paying $638.86 each month. For each month of the year, and there's 12 months each year, and we're doing this for 35 years. So we will take these and we'll see how much we actually pay. So we're making this payment 12 times a year for 35 years. And I have down here, so now my payments are going to be 638.86, 12 times a year, but now for 35 years, and we're actually going to be paying back $268,321.2. So $268,321.2, or 20 cents. This is how much we are going to pay back over 35 years. Now, the thing is, our initial loan was only for $100,000, so we are going to pay back much more than that $100,000. Again, even with a lower interest rate, so we're not earning as much interest every year, we're still paying back over 35 years. So that interest will accrue over time, and we're actually going to be paying back, over twice as much as we actually took out in the loan. But sometimes it's necessary to take a loan when you need that money. So this sort of thing is inevitable, and one of the reasons that we're learning about this is so that you can understand exactly how much you're going to be paying, and exactly how to calculate this to make sure that you get the best deal that you can. So the final question, what percent of what we pay is actually for the principal, and what percent is actually for the interest? Well, out of the $268,000 that we paid back, only $100,000 was for the initial loan. So to write that as a percent, we take $100,000 for our initial loan, and we look to see what percent of that, $100,000 is of 268,000. And when I do this, again, we have all of our old calculations. So we're going to take $100,000 and we're going to divide that by 268,321.20, and we see that we get 37%. So this is much the same as last time. So it gives us 0.37, which is 37%. So this is how much we paid for our initial loan. So this is for our principal. And then for the interest, well, the rest of the 100%, which is 63%, that is how much we paid for interest in the loan. So we actually paid back a lot of interest because it took us so long to pay back this loan. But maybe that's how much we could pay each month. Maybe we could only pay $600 each month, which means that we'll have to pay this back for a long time. And this is just the way that things work. One thing that you'll notice in real life is that loan payment interest are going to be a lot higher than savings account interest because banks want to earn money, so they're going to charge you for taking out loans quite a bit. So this is how to calculate loan payments.